What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the podcast. So we got some news. So let's start off with the NBA, okay? So on Monday night, there was the Western Conference Finals between the Thunder and Minnesota and Oklahoma. It started out Timberwolves were dominating. It looked like they were gonna win it, and Anthony Edwards, he rolled his ankle, and that kind of, made the Thunder go, okay, now we have a chance. And it gave the Thunder a chance to win that game or to at least take advantage. And it did. They did. And then Anthony came back out, and it was already over when he was coming out. Unfortunately, the Timberwolves lost that game 114-88. So tonight is game 2, and hopefully the Timberwolves can somehow turn that around and hopefully get a win. I don't know who's going to win this series. I like both teams, but they're not my favorite teams, but I like both teams. If I had to say, I would like the Timberwolves to go to the finals because the Thunder have already been to the finals, I believe, back when Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Russell Westbrook were the big three in Oklahoma, and they ended up going to the finals, I believe, losing in either 4 or 5 games, or maybe 6, I can't remember. But they've already been to the finals, but they never won it. So it would be nice if the Thunder did go there and they did win the championship. That would be sweet for them because they deserve it and all that. And then the Timberwolves would go to the finals. I don't know if they've ever been to the finals, but they would go back to the finals and they would hopefully win that championship. They got a young core. They have everything, going their way. It seems like they have everything going their way every year, when the season starts. It's like, okay, here's your top 5 teams, right? Or to look, and it's always Thunder and Timberwolves. And I think this year, definitely it's going to be put to the test of who's going to win. Is it going to be Ant or is it going to be SGA? Right? That's where it's leading to right now and everything. And I just, I hope Timberwolves win it, but like I said, I think that this series is going to go to 7. I know in my last episode I said that every quarterfinals was going to go to 7 games, and I only got one of them right, which was the Nuggets and Thunder. Everybody else went to either 5, 6 games. So hopefully I get these 2 right. So that was the win for them on Monday night. And then last night, the Pacers in New York, by the way, beat the Knicks in overtime, 138-135 in overtime. Tyrese Halliburton, when the clock was ticking down to the final seconds to go end of the regulation, Tyrese hit an insane 2-point shot, and that tied that game. And, I'm not the biggest fan of the Pacers, but I am more and more, the more I learn about this team, the more I get knowledge of the team and the knowledge of the players, the more I'm like, this guy or this team has what it takes to be a damn NBA champ. I really do. I think this team is going to win this NBA championship. And I'm not a Pacers fan, I'm not a fan of any team, but the more I learn about this team every single day or every other day or whatever the case may be, it's like the Pacers are a team, they're the sleeper team. Everybody sat there and said the Pacers would not be where they were at, right? And ever since the All-Star break, the Pacers were the only team to, I believe, to stay healthy and to pretty much dominate the rest of their games, and I think now they're back, they went back to back Eastern Conference Finals, but now the test is can they get over the hump and can they win their first NBA championship? And if they do, Indiana will have a big parade, obviously, and they would put Indiana on the map because we know Indiana is a small marketplace, so not a lot of people are going to be invested. Like, you look at the Knicks. The Knicks are from New York, and they are big. They're massive, and everybody knows the Knicks. But you look at the Pacers, and it's like, oh, the Pacers, who is this team again? And then they have to ask, and they have to go around and make sure all their knowledge is correct, right? So that's what the Pacers are. They're the small market team that nobody believed in and everything about. This is where the Pacers would be in late May. So I see this game going to either 5 or 6 games. I don't see it going to 7 games. I don't. The only reason I say that is because the way the Pacers play when they beat the Cavs only won one game. One out of a 7-game series. They won one game, and that was in Indiana in Game 3. And the rest, the Pacers won. So, in my thing is the Pacers are a quick team. Once they go to offense, if you shoot a 3 and they make it, they're going defense. They're running up and down. They're not sitting there dribbling the ball, shoot it, and then going back there and just like, okay, you guys could shoot your shot, and I'm just gonna stand here. No, they run up and down the court at full speed, and they definitely um will definitely tire you out no matter who they're playing. So I think the Knicks are going to get tired out early, but again, I see this game going to 5 or 6 games. And the Knicks are a good team too. The Knicks, obviously, with Cat and Brunson and Bridges, they obviously have those 3, and they could cooperate and they can get everything settled in for the Knicks. But I just think eventually that speed is going to catch up with them real quick and be like, all right, now, now we got to settle down. Now we're just, it's not a good place. So that's what I think. But I think the Pacers are going to win in 5 or 6 games. And then the MVP went to SGA. A lot of people have been saying that Nikola Jokovic got robbed. He is the center for the Nuggets. I believe he did. I like Joker a lot. SGA went to the free throws half of the time in the season. So I really believe that's a little ripoff. I don't think if you're going to the free throw every single game, you should be in the conversation of MVP. Like, I understand he's playing the rules and he's getting there, but there's not much. I mean, there's nothing more. I mean, why are you sitting there going to the free throw every single game? Like, yes, it's a game, that's how it is, but you don't got to do that. And I don't think the MVP award should have went to him because he went to the free throw every single game or every half of the games. I don't think that's fair for the other finalists in that conversation because, so, but hopefully, but congrats to SGA. I don't think he deserved it, but again, that's just my opinion. So go as you please about that. We'll see where he ends up in this, and where the Thunder and him will end up. Will they be in the NBA Finals, or will they get eliminated and go back home? I mean, I think they only lost like 14 games this year. So out of an 82 game season, they lost 14. That's pretty good. But again, remember, not all the good teams go to the NBA Finals. So that is something you have to also watch out for too. Is just because your record's good doesn't mean you're good. Like, look at the Mavericks last year. The Mavericks weren't the first seed. They were not. I don't think they were the second. I think they were like 4th or 5th or 6th seed, I think. And they went all the way to the finals because the teams they played, they forgot Luka. And every time Luka gets hot, that's when the team starts going. Look at the Lakers this year. Once they made that trade for Luka, every time Luka played and they got hot, they always won that game. And then once Luka either fouled out or he got injured, they lost the game. Because, you can have stars, but again, but that's how it is. And, that is something that you also have to look at too, is like go back in last year's playoffs and you see, okay, the teams that won. You had the Boston Celtics and then you had the Mavericks. Now you're gonna have two completely different teams than last year, and they're all young, and that is something you have to look out for, and that's something that's gonna be interesting and see how it's gonna develop and what's gonna happen in the off season, who's gonna go where, what's gonna happen, and that is interesting, and I give all four of these head coaches props, man. I mean, this is some tough stuff, and I give them props. So now we're switching to some NFL. The only thing in the NFL, obviously, I am a Cleveland Browns fan. So I have our schedule. I want to break it down. So obviously, I am a Browns fan. So I have our schedule right here. I'm going to break it down, make sure everything is kosher, and see what our record's going to be, right? Just to break it down. So in week 1, we kick things off with a division rival, which I said I wanted. Let's get the division game right out of the way so we don't have to worry about playing the team back-to-back later in the season. So we're at home against the Bengals. I think that game's going to be a win. The Bengals do have a good offense, but their defense is not that good. And I think I don't think we'll dominate, but I think we'll get like a head start. Like I think if we're up 20-10, then I don't think the Bengals are going to win it. So that's a 1-0. The Ravens, we're going to Baltimore. That one, I think we're going to lose. I don't think we're going to win it. I think we're going to lose to Derrick Henry and Lamar. I mean, we beat them last year, but I think we'll lose. So I'll put us at 1-1. And then we go back home, face the Packers. That game could go either way. I can either see us winning it or the Packers. And it's going to be tough, but I think the Packers will win it. Then we go to Detroit. I got Lions winning it. The way the Lions are, they've been phenomenal for the past 2 years. I think they're going to have another great, phenomenal run like they did last year. So I think the Lions are going to win it. And then we go to the UK, which is a home game for us, against the Vikings. I think we win because the Vikings do not have a quarterback. They have J.J. McCarthy, and I don't even know who else is their backups. But they do not have a quarterback, and I don't care what anybody says. J.J. McCarthy, you could throw him in there. He did not play at all last year. So, and the Vikings are probably gonna have J.J. McCarthy be their quarterback, and this is a rebuild season. I think this is a development of your quarterback and see, okay, this is his flaws, this isn't his flaws. And then after that, we go to Pittsburgh to face the Steelers, which again will win because Pittsburgh don't got a quarterback. People are saying Aaron Rodgers is going to go to Pittsburgh. That could be the case, but I don't think so. We're getting closer to training camp, and he still hasn't made a decision, so I don't know if that'll happen or not. And then we go back home to face the Dolphins. I think we'll win this one. The Dolphins are a pretty good team, but I think we've lost to them a couple of years in a row now, so I think this is our little get back and we'll win it. Then we go to New England to face the Patriots. I think the Patriots will probably get a win over there. Drake May is a good quarterback, and Mike Vrabel who's a good head coach. He will definitely do what he did in Tennessee, what he's going to do in New England, and either run that ball or he's going to make sure Drake May gets his throws correct. And then after that, in week 9, we're on our bye. So we're heading into our bye week 4-4. Okay. Then we got to go to New York to face the Jets. I think we'll win this because we faced Justin Fields twice. So we know how he plays. We know he likes to run. So I think we'll beat New York. Then we go back home and we host the Ravens. I think we'll win because it seems like we split. If we beat the Steelers, we lose against them. If we beat the Ravens, we lose. If we beat the Bengals, we kind of beat them twice. I think we'll beat the Ravens at home. I think we'll do because it's getting near the end. We're in week 11. All right. And this is when your playoffs want to develop. So we're in week 11 right there. And this is when your playoffs develop. And Baltimore, every time the playoffs are here, they seem to win and lose, and then they lose, and win. So I think we'll beat the Ravens. And then we travel to Las Vegas to take on the Raiders. I think we'll beat the Raiders because it's the Raiders and their quarterback. I don't even know who their quarterback is. So there you go. And then we go back home to face the Niners. The Niners, I think, will lose. Yeah, you thought I was going to say win, but I think they'll lose because of the simple fact that Brandon Ayuk, that whole situation there, is he going to stay or is he going to get traded? And plus the Niners are in a rebuild as well. Like, they don't got another wide receiver like Debo. They traded him this offseason to the freaking Commanders. So there's that. Then we go back home to face the Titans and the number 1 pick, Cam Ward. I got us. Cam Ward's a rookie. So, and the Titans, who knows? Who knows what the Titans are going to do. And then we go and we travel to Chicago to face the Bears. I got us winning that game because it is Chicago. They are doing good, but they just need, Caleb Williams needs to develop a little bit more. Then we go back home to face the Bills, which that's going to be a good game, and I think we'll win it. And then just because it seems like the Bills seem to, like, they tried their hardest, and then we stay at home to face Pittsburgh again. I think we'll win because then we go to Cincy, and I think we'll lose, and the only reason is because if we're in the playoffs by then, we will probably rest our starters so we can have a week off. And I think that's how Cincy's going to win. If Cincy is in the playoffs, I don't think they'll play their starters. So if that's the case, then it'll be a 50-50 matchup. So that is my predictions for the Cleveland Browns record and our team record, and I think we'll make the playoffs. Again, like I said, it's just way too early, I think, but I'll definitely do it again. Like, I'll probably update later down the line when it gets nearer to football season. But that is my predictions, and I hope y'all enjoy the episode. Remember to like and comment, favorite, and share it. And I will be back later.